You have authored many books also. Any major takeaway from those books apart from compounding that you want to take this to people from all of your
Well,
books?
the books were on investing, and I think um, the Dhandho investor is really taking kind of one line. There's a quote from Buffett, which where he says that I'm a better investor because I'm a businessman, and I'm a better businessman because I'm an investor. So we have some really good entrepreneurs and business people in India. What they may not realize is that the brain cells that they use that make them great at business are the same brain cells that can make them great at investing, because they both look at the same models, they look at the same things. And so I think that the Dhandho investor was basically bringing up that, look, here's the frameworks that business people use when they're running a business. And a similar framework could be used um, basically by individuals, you know, where if you're a business person, you have a pretty big leg up versus someone who's done an MBA and never run a business before, in terms of, picking your spots and so on. And on the other hand, if you are a really good investor, it gives you a lot of models that would be helpful if you start a business. And so the interplay between the two is interesting. So that's what the Dhandho investor kind of focused on. And Mosaic was really a collection of articles I wrote over a couple of years, just put together in a book format. So it's really a bunch of chapters that don't necessarily kind of connect from one to the next. But I think that they are good mental models to keep in mind. So, for example, one of the things in Mosaic is I talked about how the funeral business is a really good business. And there are many different kinds of funeral businesses. For example, we have in the United States, we have the Delaware courts, similar to, I think, NCLT now in India. And there's a whole ecosystem of lawyers and advisors and lenders who work with companies that are going through restructuring and bankruptcies and all of that. Those quote unquote helpers do really well. So, because they are either involved in the burial or rebirth of companies. And so there are many different kinds of businesses which are kind of like the funeral business. So, you know, TJ Maxx is a retailer in the US.
Yeah.
They buy excess surplus inventory from other retailers. So if you go to a TJ Maxx store, every time you go to a store or go to different stores, the type of inventory they have changes. But there may be some jeans that some retailer overordered that maybe cost them $15 a piece or something, and they would have sold it at $50. And TJ Maxx might have gotten the whole shipment at $7. And they may put it on sale for $12, for example. And so TJ Maxx has done really well, while the retailers, which are department stores or clothing retailers, historically in the US, they have, for the most part, ended up bankrupt eventually. So because TJ Maxx is in the recycling business, it does well. So the mental model of understanding funeral homes and understanding that those types of businesses don't attract a lot of competition leads them to become better businesses.